Continuing our way up into the brain itself, we've now gone through the brainstem and come up. We've gone through the cerebellum back here. We're now going to focus right up in here on the region referred to as the diencephalon. The diencephalon has three main regions. We're going to have the thalamus right here. We'll have the hypothalamus, and we'll have the epithalamus, just more towards the back. So the first one to look into and talk about is going to be the thalamus, this area right here. The thalamus sits just above, so just superior to the brainstem, the midbrain. So all sensory information that's traveling up the brainstem has to travel through the thalamus. That means the thalamus really is the main relay station. The thalamus is going to take all this sensory input, all this information ascending up to the brain, and it's going to help and sort it as well as edit it. It's going to help us sort to say, okay, you go to this particular spot, you go there, you go here. It's making sure the impulses go to their proper locations. Inside this thalamus, we have a ton of nuclei. Hopefully you're remembering that in the central nervous system, nuclei are referring to clumps or groups of neuron cell bodies. So in the case of the thalamus, we have the medial and lateral geniculate nuclei. Now there's more than just that, but I just wanted to give two examples. How the medial geniculate nuclei is going to deal with auditory relay. The lateral geniculate nuclei deals with visual relay. So there's plenty more beyond that, but just to give you an idea of what some could be in there. Now moving on, we'll head down to this hypothalamus region. It's kind of this triangular shape right here. So the hypothalamus region. Just like in the thalamus, the hypothalamus region is going to have many different nuclei as well. Some of the functions of the hypothalamus, we're dealing with controlling the autonomic nervous system. You're dealing with initiating physical response to emotion. Because a lot of times emotions aren't just something you feel, but you actually respond to them. Looking at body temperature regulation. Hopefully you can think back, remember, okay, body temperature regulation, we're dealing with the skin, integumentary, how that works. It's helping with regulation of food intake. Are you full or are you hungry? It's dealing with your water balance. Are you thirsty or are you satiated? Helps with sleep-wake cycles, and it even helps with integration of the endocrine system. Because right at the very tip down here, the hypothalamus, which is not shown in this particular model, would have a little stalk that connects, called the infundibulum, into the pituitary gland. And pituitary is one of the main glands of the endocrine system. So it not only helps to bridge and connect to the endocrine system, this hypothalamus actually produces two hormones. It's producing antidiuretic hormone, ADH, and it's producing oxytocin. So antidiuretic hormone, most commonly you'll refer to that as helping to retain fluid. It's an antidiuretic, so against diuretics. It's trying to help keep fluid in the body, keep you hydrated. Well, oxytocin, one of the main things you hear about there is going to be in labor contractions. So when a female is pregnant and delivering the baby, the uterine contractions are stimulated and encouraged by the production of oxytocin. So your hypothalamus. If we move back just the posterior side, we come to this region right here, which is where the epithalamus would be. So the epithalamus. Now the epithalamus itself is going to house the pineal gland. The pineal gland, we're thinking more of sleep-wake cycles. it's producing melatonin, which helps you with your sleeping patterns. So again, the whole thing here, this whole thing is going to be the diencephalon. Hypothalamus, thalamus, epithalamus.